Welcome back to Instables, everyone. So I'm going to go with you guys on the S&P 500. As you guys can see, we did have a pullback yesterday down to 405, dropping new lows on the year. And we did have a bounce today. Now the question is, are we going to continue on with this bounce? Are we going to, sorry for these beautiful circles that I drew. Are we going to continue on with this bounce, or are we going to continue on lower here in the market? We do have a 405 level that we did reach. So why exactly did we bounce at 405, and what are we expecting going into tomorrow's Fed rate hikes? Now, before I jump into this, all I ask in return is you smash that like button and hit subscribe if you want to see more chart updates every single day that I mentioned throughout the week. Again, if you are a day trader or you're just tired of looking at the market all throughout the day and you'd rather have somebody do it for you, go to instables.com in the description below, and only for $15 a month, you guys will never miss a breakout alert today again. So let's jump into this one. So jumping into the daily chart with you guys here on the S&P 500, again, this is the SPY. We have been tracking this 20-day moving average crossing below our 50. We did cross our 20 below our 50, showing us a lot of bearish momentum. We did have a pullback down to 405. And so the question is, are we going to continue on with that momentum to the downside? Are we going to have a bounce into Powell going to tomorrow? What are we expecting? So what we're pricing in at this point in time is a 50-point base rate hike that Powell did mention a couple weeks ago, with the possibility of a 75-point base rate hike. Now, going into tomorrow, it's a little tricky because we don't want a 25-point base rate hike, because if we have a lower rate hike, then we could be expecting a larger rate hike. We're more so looking at if Powell does mention anything about an increase in rate hikes and how much we may increase, or how exactly the overall economy does look. He's going to mention a lot of things. One of the things is mentioning increases in balance sheet runoffs would be very bearish. The market could continue on lower just for that reason alone. And the reason why that's important is because that would incentivize that we could have higher rate hikes to come. So as you guys can see, again, today we had our doge candle coming out. We had a major spike. As you guys can see, we did get some sell volume today, but not as much as we have been on this major pullback that we had down to 405 for the last couple days. So we'll see exactly if we do continue on with an increase in sell volume going tomorrow. That would be more confirmation to be looking at if you're looking intraday. And as you guys can see on our RSI, we are pointing up. Last thing we want to do is point down and drop down below our previous bottom points that we have been hitting. Again, we have a smaller, higher low here that could be possibly continuing on a bounce here, but we want to make sure we are careful, making sure we do get more confirmation on the bounce, of course, would be very key, especially after hitting 405 yesterday. However, if we do have a hawkish Powell and we mentioned a possible increase in balance sheet runoffs, then I would be playing to the downside if we did drop down below our previous bottoms that we had on higher lows. So again, that would be more confirmation to the downside if I was playing to the downside. And looking at the MACD here, as you guys can see, we do have sell pressure that has been overall consolidating. We don't have a large increase in sell pressure quite yet, but the last thing we have been getting is a continuation on white shaded lines. So we want to see if we do get a continuation on white shaded lines to have a possible bounce back. We do have our EMA lines crossing down below our MACD and pointing down. So that does show us that we still could continue on lower. And as you guys can see on our 405 level, we did bounce here. As you guys can see, we have previous wicks to the downside that we did bounce off of. Again, this was April of last year. We had a major spike. We had a nice continuation. Large red candles came in and we did bounce off of this, and this was the lower end of our wicks. So again, this 405 level was a nice bounce that we had. However, if we do continue on lower, we do have our channel that we have been looking to see if we can hold. And again, this channel is pretty consistent. I do believe that we will bounce off of this at least to see if we are going to continue on higher. Again, that very much will be predicated on Powell, because we're going to be looking for a possible increase in sell volume, of course, if we do continue on lower. And in my opinion, that would take Powell, and a very hawkish Powell, to do that after a major bounce that we had from yesterday into today. Now, again, with that said, if you guys are day traders, you're looking for these major breakouts that we mentioned throughout the week, major breakouts like BLTE, look up BLTE, a major breakout on FDA designation, just one of many examples that we've had in the Instables room. Go to instables.com in the description below, and you will never miss a breakout alert today again. And all of you Instables that support the channel every single day, I appreciate every one of you guys. We will stay patient going into tomorrow, see what Powell has to say and which levels we do hold, and based on that, we will see exactly what kind of momentum we do have. Again, if we do continue on lower, that's not exactly what we want to see in the market, of course, but we will have more discounts. But if we for some reason do have a dovish Powell coming in tomorrow, then we will be looking at exactly how we will be holding for more bullish momentum. And again, if you guys do like this video, it does help the channel grow, and I do appreciate it very much. And again, God bless you all, and I'll see you guys in pre-market.